Can you believe this was released 12 years ago? iPod Nano 7th Gen was released in 2012. Yes, this gold color one was released in 2015, which is still less than 10 years old. I have so many memories of using it back when it was new. I used to have a black one since around 2013, until I lost it at my high school. There was some reason why I love this iPod Nano so much. It's incredibly lightweight, just about the thickness of the headphone jack. This display looks so good to this day. It has inbuilt radio tuner. It even has Bluetooth. It's the only iPod that has native Bluetooth support, except iPod Touches. But I live in Korea. I grew up in Korea. That means I had Korean options for music players. There was a lot of tech companies that made portable music players in Korea. Samsung made one, and obviously the most famous one, the company who made S7, which is featured in the last video, and you should watch it if you haven't yet. Philip even made some. Now for the MP Man, you know that the first ever MP3 player is by Korean company. You remember featuring Freakish Man on the box, but the most noticeable and well-known company to the outside of Korea was iriver. iriver was king of product designs. Their designs always were ahead of its time. While other companies were making user interface with skeuomorphism, they had been already adopting minimal designs in 2009. No wonder how they were getting tons of design awards back then. And the design peaked in 2011 with this. This is iriver U100. Released in January 2011, it came out right between 6th Gen and 7th Gen Nano. Talk about timeless design. This external design looks awesome on this state. The combination of black and teal vibrant color of green and pink and the unique split design. By the way, this two thing does not come apart, which we will be finding out later. It even won the Red Dot Design Award in the same year. This amazing design was created by Korean designer Sang-hyun Jung. He made more designs for iriver products, and apparently he also designed one of the Microsoft keyboard and wireless mouse later on. Go and check out his profile on Behance. He made so many great designs. Now back to the device. It has a mini USB port, a micro SD card slot, and the headphone jack at the bottom. On the back, external speaker. This microphone and this charging LED is even aligned, and there's a volume button at the side like iPod Nano, and there's power button. The screen is about 3 inch with 320 by 240 resolution, and it has a capacitive touchscreen, which was still uncommon among Korean devices with touchscreens. A lot of consumer electronics had a resistive touchscreen, where it basically works much better with a stylus or fingernails rather than a fingertip. Pretty sure this thing was highly affected by iPod and iPhone's touchscreen. And this screen does not have regular IPS or TN LCD. It has FFS panel. No, it's not an acronym for fuck. It is similar to IPS, but offers much better viewing angles and color accuracy. So while the screen is less detailed, it should offer better screen quality compared to this Nano. Now obviously, the external design is not the only unique part. Things get more freaky when we power up this nugget. That's right. iriver called this Emotion UI. Back then, pretty much every company had a different UI for their every devices to try to get people to buy their new product. This was one of the main selling points of the U100, an interface that reads your emotion. Well, there's nothing serious AI or automatic things involved in it though. It's just a glorified wallpaper and playlist function. The idea is that when you pick your emotion at home screen, it will switch the wallpaper and place the music tag with that. You need to set each music's emotion by yourself and for the wallpapers too. It is neat, but as you can know, it's not practical. I don't know how weather can be an emotion. How about this emotion list? Kinda feels like they had no idea what to put inside. Rainy, cloudy, sunny, snowy, sports, sleep, study, relax, romantic, calm, cheer, and lonely. We're just gonna set this as sunny for now. Well, to use that emotion feature, I gotta put some music and videos inside. Here we go. Plugging in my Mac. Charge and transfer. Oh, here it is, U100. I pre-encoded these videos. This thing only supports 720p videos with some ancient codecs, including MPEG-1, MPEG-4, WMB. So hopefully those videos work. Ah, there we go. I already removed them. Why they're still here? Yes, of course you can play. The bar is not there. This touchscreen is amazingly bad. Like, not even just lagging between menus. Gosh, Okay, so it is not loading my music. Should I power off and turn it on? Buddy, you need to reload music files. It's just unfortunate that they didn't put anger inside this emotion list. Rebuild database. Sure. I swear if this works. Oh boy, that lag is real. Are you done now? Yep, now it reads just fine. And of course, I gotta test these earbuds too. This is supposed to be bundled with this device. They said this was premium earbuds, which took 2 years to develop. Gotta see how premium sound it is. About the time when this thing was released, these kind of noodle-looking earbuds were mostly conceived as a better sound quality earbuds because that's how the company was promoting. Oh, this bit's awful in my ears. Right, you can stop playing music. Hey. Oh, wow, this is like... Wow. Hey, stop it. No. No. That was not even a black. Wow, that is awful. Okay, first of all, these earbuds just sounds like you would expect. No bass, no top end. We're gonna test that emotion feature. Relax. Wow. Fantastic. Yup. Just works like a playlist. If I switch to relax, then we'll be... Oh, yep. It's right there. Okay, so gotta see if those videos that I converted even works. Hey, just doing fine. Can I capture? Huh, that's kinda neat. Hey, why aren't you playing? I tap play, then you should play. This actually looks slightly better than iPod in terms of contrast and color accuracy. This looks much more vivid, but it has much lower screen resolution and the touch UI is very unresponsive. Like for the iPod, it just works with this gentle tap, but this, sometimes it just doesn't work. See if the picture even works. Oh wow, it's loading in. Just so you know how iPod would work, it's just ready. Like just look at the frame rate, not even close to iPod. Okay, will double tap work? Why double tap is not working? Do I need to pin? It seriously does not support multi-touch. Wow. And oh my goodness, this frame rate is bringing me back some memories. And even that lag, even just scrolling around pictures. This is unfinished, I can call that. Was double tap patented by Apple? I remember Apple patented some very basic touch controls. Alright, we're gonna see what's also in there. Whiteboard. Yeah. Who would have used this? This is not practical. Yeah, whatever, it works. What's in the extras? Oh, it's just the calculator. Yeah, this is supposed to be 4GB model, but it only gives you 3GB of storage. How classic iRiver. Let's take a peek inside with this one. This is already broken, and also seems like the previous owner has already been inside, so... One down. Oh, finally. So, as you can see, the board is across this split part, so yeah. Wow, there's a dead bug inside. Oh man, this is the whole main board. That's the chipset, that's the memory module, that's under the memory module, micro SD card slot, the headphone jack, mini USB, this is the rest of the board, green controller, battery. I like how they use the wire to jump around this board to connect to the headphone jack. Now you might be wondering, why MP3 player in 2011? As you know, portable music players were on their way out when smartphones can play music by its nature. They even made music streaming on the go possible, so you didn't even need to download music to your device, like you had to do in MP3 players. So that gives us a question. Why did Apple sell iPods with iPhones? We can see that by looking at last generations of nanos. They aim to be the lightest and most slim device that can play music and videos. The 6th generation Nano is the only one that doesn't have video playback, but it can be still used as a watch. When the iPhone and iPod were both around, the iPod's purpose was to be sold as an entry point into the Apple ecosystem. They were cheap, so younger people who couldn't afford an iPhone could buy an iPod instead. Also, there were still some people who wanted a dedicated music player so they could separate music and video from their phone and save battery life. But what about iRiver? The situation iRiver was in was a little different. They didn't know how to build smartphones, and they didn't have enough money or time to research that. If they had enough funds, it would still mean their new products would be already outdated when released. Here's a question for you. Why did they release another music player when the market was dying fast? While people were buying more and more smartphones, there were still some demands for separate music players, especially for students in Korea. Smartphones were still in their infancy, and parents would have been concerned about their kids becoming addicted to their smartphones, playing games and watching videos without any controls. Plus, I'm sure they figured they'd get responses like MP3 players are outdated, but they decided to go ahead and release a new one anyway before they decided to exit the business. iRiver was in a business for a long time. They had the people to design the product, they likely had some leftover inventory and product lines to make, and they had brand values that were strong, at least in their home country. This could have been seen as them trying to milk out the existing MP3 market, but it's also possible that they just wanted to see if it can be revived, even though the answer was quite apparent. So, what iRiver did to survive against smartphones? The main selling point for this device was that it offered a 1000-day free music streaming subscription. Some models of the U100 had Wi-Fi capability, allowing users to stream and download DRM music online from iRiver's music streaming service called iRiver Music. Offline-only models like this were also available for downloading music using a computer. It was a good deal for consumers at the time. You could get an MP3 player with just the price of 3-year subscription, which was a great deal. People were more likely to use their device for longer, which naturally leads people's attention to iRiver's possible newer devices later. But what came after U100? Well, as we know now, iRiver didn't make another conventional MP3 player after this. They finally realized that MP3 players and PMP devices weren't selling well. They didn't go bankrupt like Yugyung did, but they kept their business going by selling cheap accessories that they rebranded with iRiver. This included phone cases, CD players, radios, TVs, DVD players, and even toothbrush sterilizers. They used the money from making these other products, launch a high-end music player and a new brand, Astel and Kern, and they're still making new devices. They've been making portable music players for a long time, and that's where they're good at it. In 2014, iRiver was acquired by SK Telecom, one of the biggest telecommunication companies in Korea, and since 2018, they've been in the business distributing music and records for SM, JYP, and Big Hit, which is now Hype, and after that, they changed their name from iRiver to Dream Us. And that's it for this video. I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane, looking back at what happened more than 10 years ago with this last of its kind. Thanks for watching.